The following material is for mature but silly audiences only. Strong language is used in this episode. Please don't listen to this if you think your parents will be mad at us for exposing you to these naughty words, or if you are Mackenzie's mother.
I was like, Norway exists, dude. Hello. My name is Addison.
I'm Mackenzie, and we're your co-hosts.
Welcome to Silly Religion.
Let's get silly.
So, although this is not the first episode we've released in 2024, this is in fact the first one we're recording.
Yes.
So, we kind of thought we'd hop on the internet TikTok bandwagon, and we wanted to actually just start out today by sharing our ins and outs of 2024. You want to go first?
Sure. My first one is standing up for myself is in this year.
Yes.
Yes,
it is. My first two are podcasts,
Mhm.
just in general, not just ours, but in general. I want to be a podcast early this year. And I want to go to the movies more often. And if I can learn how to go alone, that would be ideal.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized, we went and saw a movie together, and I was like, I love movies.
The new Sweeney movie is so good.
It's so good.
I want to see it again.
Oh, you could go.
I really enjoyed it. I was like, I'm not a big rom-com girly, but I'm kind of here for
What are you
it.
doing on Sunday? We could go again.
Sorority meeting.
Oh, great. What are you doing in the early afternoon?
No idea. Probably crying.
At the AMC movie theater after we go see it again.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, next in.
Well, you kind of took my podcasts, but I'm already a podcast girly.
Yeah.
So it's just continuing to be a podcast
Okay.
girly.
I think for the audio-only listeners, and probably some of our YouTube listeners, you guys don't know we have a website.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be funny if for 2024 we released a list of some of our favorite things that includes our favorite podcasts.
I would love to. Are there any that you would like to name drop right now?
Normal gossip.
Never listened to it.
It is people anonymously submit their gossip stories, and then it's these writers, so they're really good at storytelling,
Yeah.
and they just read these people's anonymous gossip. And so then I have found myself I'm an insatiable gossip, right?
Mhm.
But I have found myself not gossiping about everyone everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
It's okay, I have one or two people that I constantly gossip
Mhm.
about. But it's not just little things.
Yeah.
It's it itches the itch that I need to itch from knowing gossip. It's great.
When you did that, all I could think about was have you seen the things when it's when your hand just won't itch and you bite it?
I've done that before in public.
You would have you listened to Podcrushed then? Have you
I
tried?
started listening to it and then didn't love their little teaser trailer and
Because
struggled.
I was going to say they either open or close with Penn Badgley reading. People send in their embarrassing middle school stories, and he reads them dramatically.
That might be the new podcast that I do this year. I have recently been trying to get into podcasts that are similar to this one though, where it's retelling history of that kind of thing in a very funny way. I've recently been loving Bad Beliefs of the Bible. And there's one that I want to start listening to this year that's specifically about Greek mythology. But, I'll give a full podcast review on our little blog. Okay, my next two ins.
I didn't even get to share my podcast.
You said Oh, you have podcasts.
I also have podcasts I like. Podcrushed was my number one podcast last year.
Love that.
I like Truth Titanic. I'm excited to see the second season and where it goes. But I love Carly. So
yeah. I love the other one.
Blair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm a Carly girly, but I'm a Carly stan from YouTube. And then also Fantasy Fangirls podcast. I didn't start listening to it until the first of the year because I want it to be my number one podcast of the year.
I love that.
And so I waited, and now it's just constantly playing.
I have a feeling that Normal Gossip is probably going to be my... Because I didn't start it until the new year.
Yeah.
I found out about it 3 weeks ago. But also, okay, TMI about Addison, I struggle falling asleep because I have the fear of being alone. And so I have this podcast that I put on when I go to bed. If I have an Amazon branded smart device in my bedroom that I'm not going to name because I don't want this device to turn on. But if I say blank, I'm going to bed, she will turn off all the lights in my room, and then she starts this podcast. and it's called Sleep With Me,
Mhm.
and it's just this man named Scooter who has the most monotone voice, and he just reads, and it's very funny.
Am I watching you type and add more ins?
I'm adding one more so that it's an even 14,
Okay.
but I think you'll like the last
Okay.
one.
It's your turn now.
I know.
Now that I was able to share my feelings.
Specifically romantic comedies and Glenn Powell.
Period.
And self-love.
Mhm.
You'll see a big self-love common theme throughout all mine.
That's good.
Okay.
Drinking water. I am getting better at it. I used to be the kind of girl that would only drink enough water to swallow a pill throughout the day. Otherwise, there was no water at all.
Yeah.
And now I'm drinking like at least 40 ounces of water a day.
Nice.
And my acne's clearing up. So I'll take it. It might also be that I'm washing my face more regularly.
Maybe.
But I have to give myself a reason to keep drinking water.
I am having a big acne flare-up right now because I got back from house sitting.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I get out of the shower. Yeah, because I got off work early. Get out of the shower. Slap on some face lotion. Face from the top of my forehead to my clavicle.
I like that word.
Hive.
Mm.
And so today I did a patch test of the face lotion. Today I've used the cleanser. I don't know what happened.
I was just a little upset.
Okay, my 2 decisions are for me,
Mm-hmm.
not to please others,
They.
especially my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And my second one is the Southwest United States.
Period. That's a sad one.
Yeah, but it's also a very, very happy one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My next one is reading for pleasure rather than reading to meet goals.
Yeah. I love that for you.
Yeah. Just like
I'm doing the opposite this year.
last year I said I wanted to read 52 books, which doesn't seem like that much compared to what other people do. But
I know people that read 6 books a year.
But I did it, but it involved me reading 13 in December to catch up.
Yeah.
And so this year I'm like,
you should start counting textbooks.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
But this year I'm just like, I don't care how many I read. I just want to read for the fun of it. And so far it's been so much more enjoyable, and I'm actually enjoying reading rather than being like, I need to do this so I can get right to my goal.
I should have DNF'd the last book I read.
I should have too.
I just didn't enjoy it. And so one of my hobbies, I write. And I was like, I want to write a romance book. And it's really cute. I've done all the planning, except now I'm in the research phase.
Yeah.
So I'm reading books that have similar tropes to what I want to write. And so I started reading this book because I was like, oh, online it says it has this trope. It does not have that trope. And it's about 45-year-old divorcees falling in love. And they have bad boundaries. And anyways. Okay, my next 2. Being a Swiftie and Flirty Fridays. I'm not elaborating what Flirty Fridays means.
I'm so excited for you to be a Swiftie.
My coworkers are not, because so we have one girl who will come into work and she will play the Swiftie playlist. There's a Taylor Swift playlist, and she always puts it on. And I always come in and I change the playlist to the disco playlist because that raises everyone's morale. Yeah. But then she always changes it to the Swifties, so she's having a great time, but no one else is. Mm-hmm. And so my coworkers are very worried about me becoming a Swiftie. Okay.
My next one is smiling. Smiling's in for me. I want to smile more and be happy more. So.
I love that for you. Okay. Achievements out of self-love, not need for affirmation. Which, fun fact, I did not make Dean's List for the first time ever this past semester. And you know what? I stand by that. I'm proud of that for myself. Because I still worked super hard last semester. I was in 19 credit hours. I got super burnt out of a job that I loved, so I had to leave, and that was hard. I started a different job. I was essentially working full-time. I was in a science class. And I started a podcast. I decided to, put emphasis on my hobbies and things that I love. And so I'm okay with it. Okay, my 2. Oh, wait, my other one. Learning about sports for my enjoyment. I'm a sports girly, and I did not know this. I'm going to a hockey game tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I'm so excited. Okay, in a couple weeks, there's a hockey game I kind of want you to go to with me. Stanley's gonna go, and I think he's gonna bring his girlfriend and like a few other people. But it's our current university against my hometown's university, and I'm gonna go.
Slay.
Already.
My next one is video essays. I love video essays, and I want to watch more of them. And it kind of connects with one of my outs, but I just want to like get back into having a video essay playing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Eddie Burbank, something like that. He's good friends with Ted Nivison. They went to all the Rainforest cafes. But his most recent ones are really, really good. I watched like 3 last night. Okay, standing up for myself and a big girl job.
Slay.
Yeah.
Outs?
Oh, I still have 2 more ins. I did the math wrong.
Oh wait, no, I have one more. I missed it. Going to the movies. Addison kind of stole mine. I do want to go to the movies more because I do really enjoy it, but it makes me a wee bit anxious.
Just go during the day.
Yeah. And so I want to learn how I want to go to them more so then they can become an enjoyable experience again.
Have you ever been to a movie at 11 a.m. on a Friday?
No.
There's going to be no one in there. We go to the movie and then we film Silly Religion podcast.
My sister and I went to a movie while I was back for break, and we were the only 2 in the theater, and we were in the grand screen theater, so it's like the massive one. And it was a trip. Reagan really enjoyed having nobody else in there because she could talk.
No one else was in there when I saw the Eras movie.
That would have been fun, though.
It was great.
I'm a Swiftie, but I did not appreciate the people singing and stuff.
No, I did not want. No.
Unpopular opinion. Please, you can stand up, you can dance, but please don't sing over her.
Yeah. Okay, my last 2. Less is more.
This
year, actually, last week, you can't tell. You can't tell. They can't see it. I went through and got rid of every piece of clothing I haven't worn in the last 3 months and things that just are not my size. Because 2024 is not the year of being like, oh, lose weight. I should keep these pants. Those are a size 16 pants, girl. You are a size 22. You don't need to be keeping size 16 pants. There's no point. And so I donated them. And then my last one that I added was being more aware of when I accidentally interrupt and speak over Mackenzie.
Maybe we'll eventually be able to make a compilation video of all the times where you start talking and I'll be like,
I feel so bad. And like I realized I did it earlier. And I hope you can see it on my face. Alrighty, so our outs for 2024. Yes. I'll go first. I'll go back and forth. Okay. Number 1, Snapchat being primary form of communication with people whom I have their phone number.
Okay, well, it's okay because I put you in a group chat with my sister. Well, but you don't have her phone number, so it's okay.
That's okay, but like, I mean, for you, I don't want to be like messaging you on Snapchat. I would rather text you. If I'm sending you a photo, like, that's okay.
Text me the photo.
I actually almost did the other day. But like, I hate Snapchat as a platform. And so like, I don't need to be Snapchatting my brothers.
Yeah.
I can text my brothers. Why am I Snapchatting my stepmom? I don't know. Right? So, like, I want to get away from that this year.
My first one is, it is out letting myself be treated like shit. That is out.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hinge. I am done with the app known as Hinge. And Bumble.
Oh, I was like, just Hinge?
Okay, so I have this theory that, like, Tinder came onto the dating scene, and it was really, really good for the first few years, and it got so popular, and it became overrun with people just wanting hookups. So then Bumble became the answer to that solution. Bumble got really, really popular and became overrun with people just looking for hookups. So Hinge became the solution. We have reached the point on Hinge where it is popular enough that there are a large number of people looking for hookups, but not yet far enough into that process that, like, there's a new dating app. I'm not anti-dating app. I want to just be clear. We just live in a very conservative state. And I don't know if you guys can just tell by, like, my short hair or the way I speak.
You're tatted up.
Or that I'm tatted up. Or that, like...
You are just a not very conservative leaning girly.
I am so liberal! Yeah. Oh, here's the other thing. I'm too liberal for the Christians
Mm-hmm.
and too Christian for the liberals in this state.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even say that I'm that Christian. I'm like, I participate in this church because I like community.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next thing.
Mine is the excessive consumption of short form media content. I spend so much time. I don't have TikTok. I just have never had it because I think that would be awful for my mental health.
Yeah, probably.
So, like the little lame girly I am, I scroll on Instagram Reels.
Okay, I have some bones to pick with Instagram Reels, but I've started using it more frequently because you use it and Stanley uses it. So I'm like, this is how I'm gonna send videos to my people.
But I just scroll, and I want to get back into video essays and like longer forms of content rather than 4-second videos for hours on end.
Yeah. My next one is people pleasing.
Slay.
Yeah.
My next one is dirty bedrooms. Specifically my dirty bedroom. I need to get better at cleaning it because I'm the type of person that will like deep clean and be like, okay, it's clean. This is never going to be dirty again. And then like a week later, I'm like, that pile of clothes on the floor, it's fine. I'll get to it.
It's very important to me that you know that this is not a large pile of clothes. It looks very large because it is in a basket on top of a suitcase.
I wouldn't have judged you either way.
With a blanket covering the suitcase, so it just looks like this massive mountain of clothes. It did 8 loads of laundry last week.
Slay.
Yeah, I separated them all, and then I called my friends over and was like, I need you to put these away because I'm going to cry.
But no, I just want my bedroom to be clean because that's my space, that's my sanctuary.
Yeah.
And
this is not my sanctuary. This is where I sleep.
My bedroom's like my space, and so I want to respect myself enough to have my space be clean.
Yeah. My next one, first cuss word of the new year.
Nope, I already said shit.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Dang. Fighting a bitch just because. I recently had some life changes, and so it's a new year of learning for me and learning about myself. And I learned that I have a lot of mood swings, and when I get irritable, I try to pick every single fight. Like, I went to Target with Stanley, and I was like, what do you think about this dress? And he goes, you don't like your shoulders. And I was like, what did you just say to me? Who are you to say that I don't like my shoulders? And he's like, you say that every time you wear anything that shows your shoulders. It's why you layer pieces under your jumpsuits. It was like 8 different times just in that Target trip.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Out perfectionism. I'm such a perfectionist, and I would like not to be. I waste a lot of time being a perfectionist.
Yeah. Fun fact, I made you take the Enneagram. You are a 1, which is the perfectionist.
Yes.
I am an 8, which is the challenger. Which means that you and I are the same Enneagram as my mom and my stepdad. My next one is clopening. Last semester, because of just my classes and my availability, I would open Monday, close Tuesday, open Wednesday, close Thursday, open Friday. That made me want to die. So now I just open 4 days a week, and that's so much better for my mental health.
My next one is not DNFing books. I need to stop forcing myself to read things that I'm not enjoying.
Exactly.
I did do it like yesterday, but we're done now. We're done.
We're done. I did force you to add another out.
Yeah.
So
that one's a new out as of 5 minutes ago.
My next one is fixing typos.
I have noticed that.
Yeah.
In text messages, there's sometimes where I'm like, I really hope she elaborates because I don't know what she's talking about.
Always ask me to elaborate. I will elaborate.
I'll get something and I'm like,
huh?
What? Yeah. My last one is people pleasing. I need to stop that.
Yeah. You're making really good strides though.
Yeah.
My last one is ignoring red flags. There was this customer I had a crush on, and my coworker had talked to him for a little bit, and then I found out they weren't talking, so I was like, oh, I could talk to him. Turns out they stopped talking because he thinks that America is the best country in the world to live in. I was like, Norway exists, dude. Huh? Zealand.
That could be a t-shirt. Norway exists, dude.
I have a list on my phone of all the like t-shirts that our grad assistant last semester said I should make. Bonkers idea, Angie. Anyways, so do you want to have a feel what we're talking about, or do I want to review?
Well, you are leading this episode.
I guess I am. I'm heavily relying on you to bring the humor because I'm very insecure about leading the episodes. We all know why. I'm looking at you, Zoroastrianism. Anyways, so today we are talking about probably one of my favorite religions. The Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
FSM.
FSM. Their members are Pastafarians.
Yes.
Kind of like how members of the LDS Church are Mormons, but Mormonism is not the official religion, right? So Pastafarianism is a portmanteau of pasta and Rastafarianism.
What?
This was at the top of the Wikipedia page. Did you not see that bit?
No.
Okay, so Rastafarianism is a religious and political movement that began in Jamaica. Jamaica would be crazy. Combining Protestantism, mysticism, and Pan-African beliefs with political consciousness. So it's like this really cool hodgepodge of Protestants out of Africa, and that's the Rastafarianism movement. Okay. So then there's this dude named Bobby Henderson. Bobby Henderson graduated from Oregon State University with a Bachelor's of Science in Physics, which I just think is a funny background tidbit. And after the fact on the website, it claims that like the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster has been around for longer than the date I'm about to drop. But in 2005, Mr. Bobby wrote a letter to the Kansas Department of Education. Fun fact, you can find this letter online. It is linked under their About page on their website. But he was essentially saying, what you guys are doing is wacky. Now, I'm going to explain to you what they were doing. Because I realized I also forgot that bit of context.
Yeah, I was ready to jump in and give context if you weren't.
Do you want to give the context? I feel like I'm going at 17,000 miles an hour.
Okay, so Bobby wrote to the school board because they were going to be teaching creationism. And he said, no, back it up.
They were wanting to teach creationism in addition to evolution, is what I had read.
Okay.
Because they were like, well, if you teach that some people believe this, you have to teach that some people also believe this.
And he was like, okay, if you teach that, you also have to teach about the flying spaghetti monster. If you're going to teach creationism, this belongs there too. This. We don't have the strainers.
Right there.
Do we want to just put them on when we talk about them?
Okay. And so, ultimately, Kansas did not decide to teach creationism alongside FSM. But from there, it kind of went viral. As much as anything can go viral in 2005.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm sure the Today Show was all up in this. I remember when I was young, we would watch Elmo before school, and then the Today Show would come on. And I would sometimes be late to school. I walked to school. I would be late because I wanted to sit and watch the Today Show instead of going to school.
You see, you walk to school. My dad has two older brothers. He's the youngest of three.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was I'm pretty sure it was the first day of kindergarten. He is walking to school with his brothers. They ditch him. He's never walked to school. He doesn't know where he's going. So they ditch him. He gets lost. Sits on the side of the road. Cries. gets picked up by the garbage man, and the garbage man drives him to school in the dump truck and drops him off for his first day of school.
My first day of kindergarten, I was going to a charter school and did not get into the charter school until a week after school had started. And this school, they had like 2 classes per grade. I'm pretty sure it was a K through 12. I only went there for kindergarten because an elementary school opened up right down the street from my house. It was the only school in town that did full day kindergarten. And both my parents worked full time. And so they line up on the basketball courts in the lines of your class, and then they count heads so that teachers don't have to do attendance, that kind of thing. But they also stand out there and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah, I didn't mean to touch you. I meant to touch my striders, my colanders. And so I'm just standing in line in Miss Conser's kindergarten class, and the principal calls me to the front of everyone and asks me to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And I went to a religious preschool, and so I was not taught the Pledge of Allegiance. And I just stare at him and start crying.
My dad also got stabbed with a pencil in school. In the chest, like, has a scar. In elementary school.
One kid that I used to have a crush on, I'll name drop him. Cole, he got hit in the eye with a golf club at school.
I will say the stabbing was an accident.
I'm sure the golf club incident was too.
Well, I don't want somebody to be like, no, a kid was running with a sharpened pencil and rounded the corner and stabbed my dad in the chest. Okay, back to the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
Okay.
So, yeah, they originated in 2005, but they also claim to have existed in secrecy for hundreds of years before that.
Yeah. Because Bobby Henderson is claiming to be a prophet.
Yes.
Which, fun fact, is on his LinkedIn. He's like, more importantly, I'm a prophet of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. But also, I do freelance programming. So I went through, and in my research, I read through, they have a public website. It's spaghettimonster.org. It's a really interesting read. It's really funny. Just do a deep dive into their website. It's hilarious. But I pulled some quotes that I felt kind of served as tenets of what they believe.
Okay, I have their actual...
I know, but let me read the quotes first.
I know, I was just
She did better research than me. Okay, so it says that we believe religion does not require literal belief, as the Enlightenment comes from the process of being in a community. And I think that's great. I think Christianity needs a little bit more of that.
Yeah. Next
thing. Humans evolved from pirates. We are not they're not anti-religion. We are anti-crazy nonsense done in the name of religion. And then that kind of got me to Skepticon.
Yeah.
I think we should wait to bring that
we
up.
can do that later. Is that all your notes?
I also wrote that the religious headwear equals colanders, which means that you can wear one of these if you are a member of the Pastafarian Church, or the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, on your driver's license photos. And I do want to say, if you do this and send us proof at sillyreligionpod@gmail.com, I will Venmo you $10. This offer is only valid through the end of 2024. I don't want to be like 45 getting a Venmo request.
Did you imagine we like blow up and you're Venmoing like thousands of dollars?
Some other things that I just like remember from reading it. I don't remember reading it.
Okay.
I wrote down a lot about Skepticon though when we get to there.
I'm not gonna wear this because I can hear my head.
I'll double up on the religious headwear.
Beautiful. Okay. So here's some things that I found.
Yes. I texted her and I go, okay, I apparently FaceTimed her and I go, you may need to do more research on this than me.
And I did. One thing I did find that was just really interesting. In 2005, Boing Boing, I don't know, offered a $1 million prize of intelligently designed currency payable to any individual who could produce empirical evidence proving that Jesus is not the son of the flying spaghetti monster.
I love this silent laugh you've got going on right now. It's like, is she asthmatic? Is she hyperventilating? No, she's just silent.
I mean,
laughing.
I am asthmatic, but
I know, but not in this moment.
I
This is not
silent
an
laugh
asthma
all the
issue.
time.
I know, but it's the first time I've noticed it.
Other things, let's see here. Their heaven includes
Oh,
a
yeah.
beer volcano
Yeah.
and a stripper factory. Sometimes it's like not a stripper factory, but something similar. But we're going with stripper factory. And hell is similar, but the beer is stale.
Boo, stale beer.
And the strippers have STIs.
Boo. Actually, I'm not going to judge people for having STIs. Go get checked regularly.
No, fun little story. I was doing this before I went to bed, and then I went to bed, and I'm on an antidepressant that makes my dreams really vivid. And I'm asleep, having dreams, and in my dream, my best friend Caitlin, her father Bill, comes into my dream, and I was talking about how the strippers have STIs, and he goes, Mackenzie, that is not politically correct. They're STDs.
No, they're not.
And that was the whole dream.
Isn't the politically correct thing STI?
I'm pretty
Because it's an infection, not a disease.
That was the whole dream, though. He was like, Mackenzie, it is not an STI, it's an STD. And I was like, pretty sure it's an STI.
That's funny.
They claim global warming, earthquakes, and hurricanes are due to the shrinking number of pirates.
Yeah, we want more pirates.
Yes. And their proof for this is Somalia, known for piracy, has the lowest carbon footprint on the planet.
Guys, this is a very serious podcast. Honestly, Bobby Henderson, I am emailing this to you, so I hope you watch it.
This is not out of hate at all. We're obsessed. We love it.
We love it. This is gonna stay up on my wall for the next at least 2 weeks.
Let's see here. What else? A federal court in Nebraska ruled that the flying spaghetti monster religion is a satirical parody of religion, and that Pastafarians are not entitled to religious accommodations under the Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Person Acts, which, like, boo.
I hate Nebraska.
Nebraska, it's not for everyone.
Know who lives in Nebraska?
Who?
Elise Myers, the TikTok lady who
I love
accidentally
her.
went to Hillsong College for 3 years.
I love her so much.
I also love her. Did you see the video where she was just talking and then she was, I love being alive.
I cried. Okay, what else do I have? The first legally recognized Pastafarian wedding was celebrated in New Zealand on April 16th, 2016.
Yes, and the priest wore a pirate costume. I have a funny pirate wedding story. So my mom is a pastor, and when I was young, we had this hairstylist, and essentially my house, our backyard was just mountains, right? Like, we didn't live in the mountains, but we lived at the base of the valley. And my mom was going to do the wedding for my hairstylist, and it was just going to be in our backyard because she wanted the mountains and the wedding photos, but she wanted a private wedding. Yeah. And so my hairstylist was talking with a client, and she was like, "Oh, what kind of wedding are you having?" And she meant to say private wedding, but she said pirate wedding. And so then Leela told my mom this, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I was just in a school play about pirates." So I am in her wedding photos in a pirate costume.
Shut up. That's incredible.
I love her.
Let's see. So their code of conduct.
Oh, yes.
Is laid out in the 8 I really wish you didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So the 8 I really rather you didn't.
That's rather you didn't.
I'd really rather you didn't act like a sanctimonious, holier than thou ass when describing my noodly goodness.
I know some people that need to get with that.
Number 2. I'm not going to say that all of them is I'd really rather you didn't
Blank. Yeah.
Number
we
2,
get it.
use my existence as a means to oppress, subjugate, punish, eviscerate, and or, be mean to others.
Isn't that like a direct Jesus quote? I feel like that's the same vibe here. I'm not good with this religious headwear. I feel like I'm wearing a battle helmet.
In like Looney Tunes, The Martian.
I'm like trying to angle it so that they can
Yeah.
still see my eyes, but realistically, this is how this one is fitting.
Mm.
And I don't know if the blue one will fit. Oh wait, it fits fine.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I have a big head.
Number 3, judge people for the way they look, or how they dress, or the way they talk, or well, just play nice, okay?
Love that.
Number 4, indulge in conduct that offends yourself or your willing, consenting partner of legal age and mental maturity.
That's so important.
Yes.
We need to get with that.
5, challenge the bigoted, misogynistic, hateful ideas of others on an empty stomach.
Wait, what?
I really wish you didn't, or I'd really rather you didn't challenge the bigoted, misogynistic, hateful ideas of others on an empty stomach.
So you have
Do
to
it after
eat?
you've had pasta.
I could get with this.
Number 6, build multi-million-dollar churches, temples, mosques, shrines to my noodly goodness when the money could be better spent, ending poverty, curing diseases, living in peace, loving with passion, and lowering the cost of cable. It's take your pick, and then the list.
I think, 1, cable is currently cheaper than having every single streaming platform. 2, maybe we should indirectly tweet that at some pastors on the Twitter.
Yeah. Number 7,
especially ones from our last episode. But leave Adam Hamilton alone. He's a nice dude. He said hi to my brother at work.
Number 7, go around telling people I talk to you.
Personal prophecy. I need a drink of water.
Number 8, unto others as you would have them do unto you if you are into stuff that uses a lot of leather / lubricant / Las Vegas. If the other person is into it, however, then have at it.
The fact that my dad knew a lot about this religion is making me kind of uncomfy.
And that is their 8 thing. Their 8 I'd really rather you didn't for their code of conduct.
I love that.
Their prayer of knowledge.
Oh yes.
Grant the flying spaghetti monster thy sauce.
I'm praying.
Sorry. And in thy sauce, noodles. And in noodles, meatballs. And in meatballs, knowledge. And from knowledge, knowledge of what is tasty. And knowledge of what is tasty, the love of spaghetti. And from spaghetti, the love of the flying spaghetti monster. Ramen. Their creation myth.
Oh yes.
Do you remember me telling you about this last time?
How about I tell you what I think you said and you correct me? So the spaghetti monster created everything, and then planted this concept of evolution as a way to, okay, I don't remember the word for it, but it was like when the devil put Jesus in the desert and was like, here are all these things you could have, just be with me. Temptations. To tempt and test Pastafarians.
So, creation myth: a flying spaghetti monster that, important, is invisible and undetectable.
Oh,
created the universe after heavily drinking.
Oh yes.
And because the monster was heavily drinking and intoxicated, the Earth is flawed.
Oh yes. That perfectly answers the theodicy problem.
But yeah, it's because he was drunk. There's a few different religious texts.
Yes. There's the 157-page book of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
The Gospel.
The Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. which you can for sure purchase on Amazon for $15. But also, if you Google it with the word PDF, there's a PDF copy on WordPress. I read it this morning. Can't tell you what I read.
Do you know the other two?
They aren't official through Bobby Henderson.
No.
One is a collection of texts put together by some people with like lore or whatever.
There's the loose canon and the holy book of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. I'm not sure details about those.
Okay.
Festivals. They have festivals and holidays.
Oh yes. Christmas.
They do not celebrate Christmas.
Kwanzaa.
Nope.
Hanukkah.
Mm-mm.
Saturnalia.
Nope. You're just going through the list. If you want to know more about winter holidays, you can watch our YouTube exclusive episode that we put out.
Yeah.
So
it's so chaotic.
Yeah.
You think I'm bad right now? Oh, my eyes aren't focusing.
Should I be concerned?
Oh, I just sometimes disassociate because my new antidepressant.
Okay, so
I'm gonna just have it zoom in on my face the entire time because I bet you one of my eyes went lazy because I could do that on command sometimes.
So here are all the things they celebrate. They celebrate International Talk Like a Pirate Day, of course.
Yar.
Every Friday is a holy day.
Yes, which means you can't work.
And you celebrate this by drinking beer and relaxing.
Good.
Prayers are concluded with a final declaration of affirmation. Ramen. Pastover requires consuming large amounts of pasta. You are asked to dress as a pirate and participate in a ritual passing of the eye patch. Ramendan is where only ramen noodles and pasta dishes are consumed after sundown.
I can get with that.
For Halloween, it's kind of recommended that you dress as a pirate. And finally, holiday. Doesn't take place on a specific date. It's just during the holiday season. There's no requirements for how to celebrate it. But this is the energy I wish to have.
Okay.
So society, as you've probably noticed, has started transitioning away from saying Merry Christmas. They'll say Happy Holidays.
Yes, I'm here for it. I do that. People get so mad when I do that, and it just fills me with joy.
The Pastafarians take this as you supporting Pastafarianism because you're saying Happy Holidays and that's their holiday.
I love that. I remembered something about Pastafarians. If you want to be a member, you just say you're a member.
Yeah.
There are no dues. There's no initiation.
Yeah.
And you participate as much or as little as you want to.
Yeah. I did find a WikiHow article on how to be a Pastafarian, but we'll come back to that.
Yeah, I think, we should do it. We should become Pastafarians.
Yeah. Okay, so media portrayal. Do you want to kind of talk about what you have with Skepticon real quick?
Skepticon! Okay. So Skepticon is a convention that was founded in 2009 that essentially was just a way for skeptics, but really atheists and non-religious people, to kind of just meet and gather and talk about the intersection of atheism and science and technology within our world. It was founded, as you know, we're from Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
It was founded by Missouri State students. And so we were both just reading this on Wikipedia at the same time, and we were like, holy cow, did our state just get a shout out? What is happening here? Anyways, so it was founded in 2009, and then they've had 2010 and 11 were in Springfield. They've since moved it to St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's where the tea happens. In 2011, it was held at the University Plaza Hotel. And that hotel, from what I could see, is very close to like their downtown area. And in the downtown area, there is a gelato shop. And this gelato shop was essentially welcoming people, offering a 10% discount. I found Reddit posts all about it. So if you Google this whole thing, there's a paper trail. It's funny. And so this gelato shop opened as a one-man, single, small business. From what I could tell, this person now has like a family. It's a whole thing. This gelato shop owner saw a sermon being preached out near like the hotel area. I can't remember the name of the guy who did it, but it's a guy who is known for mocking the gospel. Like, he was brought to this conference by these two college students who founded it to, incite a reaction, get coverage. And so this gelato shop owner went back to his gelato shop and put up a sign that said, "Skepticon is not welcomed in my Christian business." And then from there, kicked out everyone who's from Skepticon, would not let Skepticon people come in. And
How
then
would you
got
know?
put on blast. Have you never seen someone have been like, "I think they're an atheist"?
But like, that feels
Discriminatory. He got sued for it.
okay. Good.
But like, this guy got put on blast in the r/atheists subreddit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people were making fun of him. It was horrible. Anyways, Skepticon 2024, July 26th through 28th in St. Louis Union Station Hotel. Fun fact, they have really good food in that little area.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like an aquarium and some fun stuff. But that's what I have about Skepticon. I got very excited that Missouri got a little shout out.
Mm-hmm. Some other media portrayal. This piece up here, I forget what it's called. Touched by his noodly appendage, I think.
It is, and I hate it. Like, I love the photo. I just hate that that's the name of it.
There was a flying spaghetti monster holiday pageant in December of 2006.
Yeah.
Skepticon.
Yeah.
There's a book. It is The Flying Spaghetti Monster Thriller Poems, written in 2012 by Igor Ursenko.
Okay.
There's a documentary called I Pastafari, and it is a documentary about the church's fight for legal recognition.
Yeah.
And then there's also, published in Germany, a children's Bible of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
I remembered some recent stats about the church that I want to share. These are all from Bobby's LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this online website called Kiva, and it does microloans. And they're the largest religious organization donators on the website. They do roughly about $4 million every year. And the thing about Kiva is because it's microloans, you pay these people like $25. Once they use the money, start their business, start making a profit, they pay back these loans. So then you get to give that money again. And so if they're doing $4 million every year, that's just cycling. And that effectively it multiplies every year. It's exponential growth. So I remembered that. And they have locations in Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and the Americas. And they claim 30 million members. He claims on his LinkedIn 30 million members.
Their website says we have millions, if not thousands, of members.
Their website is also very clear that Bobby Henderson learned how to decode an HTML website and bought his domain. It's not bad.
The best part, if you just want some like light afternoon reading, there is an entire section on the website in which Bobby posts hate mail that the FSM community receives, specifically him. He posts it and then he gives his response.
Yeah.
And it's
like a little blog.
It is a very entertaining read, and I highly recommend if you're bored one day, read it. Because you're just like, you really took time out of your day to write this email. Like, get a hobby.
Yeah. Start a podcast.
Yeah.
If you really think people want to hear your voice that much.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready to find out how to become a pastafarian? I can word the thing for this part. Okay.
Yeah. You look like the old man from Tarzan.
Okay.
You want the smaller one?
I'm okay with the white. It matches my shirt.
Okay.
So it splits into 3 subcategories. This is all from WikiHow. You can WikiHow how to become a Pastafarian.
Okay.
Section 1.
Wait, I gotta sit up. I gotta take this seriously.
Section 1.
Okay.
Also, you can be Pastafarian and another religion.
Yeah,
They're like,
that's what I'm about to do.
yeah. I was just giving, the listeners might not know that, Addison.
Oh.
They claim to have like Buddhist members, Christian members of various religions that are also Pastafarian.
Yeah.
Okay, section number 1, joining the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Step 1, simply wish to join the church. Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Step 2, learn the basic beliefs of Pastafarianism. You now know most of them from this podcast.
Yeah.
Step 3, study the sacred text of Pastafarianism.
I read it this morning.
Perfect. Step 2, or like group
Section
2.
2.
Section 2. Follow the principles of Pastafarianism.
I will donate to Kiva and
That is not one of them.
and protect the earth so there can be pirates.
Step 1. Follow the 8 I'd really rather you didn't that we went over.
Seem pretty self-sufficient, yeah.
Mhm.
Or self-explanatory.
Yeah. Number 2, at every available opportunity, talk like and or dress like a pirate.
Yar.
That sounded like Australian, not pirate.
I'm using it instead of slay.
Mm.
I'm like, what would a pirate say?
I'm pretty
instead
sure
of
it's
slay?
R, not yar. I don't
No,
think-
they're saying yes.
Oh, I was like, I'm
Yar.
pretty sure it's not a Y. C,
Arr.
or not C. 3, celebrate Pastafarian holidays.
I can celebrate holiday.
Pray to the FSM. So your little prayer that we did earlier.
No, I can.
Our next one, do not persecute anyone who does not believe in FSM.
I can't threaten them with stale beer and STI stripper hell.
No.
How am I supposed to even utilize this religion?
And the final part of this section.
That's satire. I want to be clear. That was sarcasm. It was not real. Okay.
Our last part of this section. Have a good time.
Boy, do I know how to do that.
Our last section.
Yeah.
Becoming a master of Pastafarianism.
It costs $59 to get ordained.
Number 1. Choose which Pastafarian sect suits you. There's a Reform sect and an Orthodox sect of
Reform.
Pastafarianism.
Probably Reform.
I didn't really look into what the difference was. I just saw that
Probably the amount of importance on pirates.
pirates are very important.
I know.
I told Addison last night, she probably doesn't remember this. I said if I could study and become an expert on anything I wanted to without needing to like worry about money or a job afterwards, I would want to be an expert in 18th century pirate culture.
Do you remember what I said in response?
You would want to know about new religious movements and Pentecostalism.
Specifically, charismatic Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
It's in my eye. My hair is in my eye.
You also need to spread the church's good news with FSM propaganda.
Which you can find on their website.
Or you can make your own.
Oh.
I probably shouldn't have told you that. That was a bad idea.
On their website, it says if you need the PNG file of the spaghetti monster to just let him know, he'll email it to you. Shout out to Bobby.
Our last 2. Get ordained as a Pastafarian minister, which you can do on their website.
Did I tell you what Stanley said about that?
No.
Stanley goes, one day I want to be a professor, and I just want to get ordained with as many churches as possible. And instead of displaying my computer science software engineering degrees on my wall, I just want all my ordination certificates.
Period.
I think when he doesn't listen to our podcast, so I'm going to say
No.
this. I think when he graduates, I'm going to get him his ordination as a gift.
And finally, attempt to have your religion recognized by a government agency. That one's a tough one.
My license doesn't expire. I'd have to like get a new license when I establish residency.
Mm.
This licenses last 65 years. I'm not sure I can commit to having a colander on my head for the next 65 years. So maybe I'm not meant to be a Pastafarian master. I think I could just be a regular member. Also, I'm just kind of trying to learn how to casually do church. I just got really overwhelmed by the prospect of having to wear this on my head all the time.
You don't have to wear it on your head all the time.
But it would be on my driver's license.
Could you imagine you get pulled over and you have to hand the cop a picture of you with the colander on your head?
See, this is why I'm offering money. Anyways, so fun fact. My mom, pastor, does a lot of religious things. Did not know about the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster till last year. I have very clear memories of my dad teaching me about this as a child.
I told Caitlin yesterday, I was like, because she FaceTimed me and was like, are you working on podcast stuff? I saw like episode 7 in your notes, but I couldn't tell if it was like for a class or, and I go, no. She goes, what's it on? And I go, the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. She's like making her dinner and she like pops back into the camera and is like, what? She goes, I'm gonna act like I know what that is. And I go, what's the podcast?
So you may have seen this adventure because
my face is gonna be covered.
Private story. But I had to print out this photo this morning, and I live right across the street from our school. So I will usually just,
Is this photo technically explicit?
Yeah. It'll be so small that you can't see it.
We get like in trouble.
We're not gonna get in trouble. I mark our videos not for children. If you're under the age of 18, please don't watch this podcast.
Please don't.
Anyways, so I am in the computer science building, surrounded by people in this computer printing lab that are working on homework and things. And I Google this photo, put it on a Word document, and then have to print it. And so I leave the building. I'm standing at the crosswalk waiting for it to go. And there's like this U loop thing that gets you into like the historic quad area. And up pulls this red car. And I'm like, I think that's my former roommate, Zaria. That looks like Zaria. Is that Zaria? It doesn't have all the right bumper stickers though. Anyways, it's Zaria. So I'm standing right here. She drives through the U, ends up right here. She's waiting to turn right to get back on the main road. And she goes, Addison. And I'm like, Zaria. She goes, what you doing? And I go, spaghetti. And I said spaghetti monster, but like the crosswalk had turned on, so I have to start going. And she's like, huh? So I post all of this on my private story on Snapchat because I thought it was hilarious. And she swipes up, she goes, what on earth were you talking about? And I was like, the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. And she's like, what the fuck is that? And I told her she'd have to listen to the podcast to find out.
Anyways, thank you so much for listening.
We both hope you have a great week, and just remember,
Stay silly. Silly Religion is devoted to providing a fun, educational, and brave space. We are not experts on the subject, nor are we claiming to be. If something we said during this episode was offensive, incorrect, or just wasn't the vibe, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. If you loved the episode, want to work with us, or just say hey, we would also love to hear from you. You can email us at sillyreligionpod@gmail.com. You can also leave a review and feedback on the podcasting platform of your choice.
Silly Religion is written and produced by Addison McCarty and Mackenzie Slump. Editing and graphics are done by Addison McCarty. Closed captioning is provided by Mackenzie Slump. Vibes are provided by The Adderall Shortage. Music is by ScottHolmesMusic.com.